Hey y'all, I'm Brandon,
I'm Hannah.
and you're watching the Mexico Experiment.
A B C D E F G.
So today we are in our third day here in Mexico officially, and we realized that we haven't really reflected or spoke on how our 3 days have been going so far with you guys on the channel, and so we thought we'd run over a few little simple questions and topics and try to stay on topic so we don't get too boring. And basically we do these kind of chats with ourselves every day anyway, so we figured why not just film it and kind of recap what's been going on. So I guess we'll start with what surprised us the most in the last 72 hours. I mean, a lot's been happening.
Yeah. I guess the first thing that we noticed was the amount of kids that were out past daylight and well past daylight. Like, just, I mean, neighborhood kids all over playing soccer, hanging out in their own little groups, no chaperone, nobody kind of like watching over them like a hawk. Just
Yeah,
the kids are
definitely.
free to roam, and that was like a big one that kind of stuck out to us.
Yeah, that was huge. And neither one of us were born in the 80s, so we don't know what it was like, but
Yeah.
but it sounds like the good old days. You know, it looks like the good old days, I should say. You know, there's just an obvious calmness out here. There's an obvious safety right off the bat. Like, I hate to be cliche with saying that Merida is safe, but it's just very obvious. I mean, when you walk down the sidewalk, everybody's door is very close to the sidewalk.
Everyone's either sitting outside, just facing the street, or standing out there, just kind of people watching and
Yeah.
taking it all in.
And their doors are wide open, and if you just look to the left, you're gonna look right into their living room and sometimes their kitchen, and they're just sitting down on their couch, you know, no worries in the world. You don't see that in America typically. So that was like, you know, I guess the safety was the safety was one of the major things that we noticed that surprised us, even though we knew that that's what we were coming into. It still was surprising.
Experiencing the little details, really.
Yeah, there's a difference between like hearing about it, watching it, and then like living it. You're like, wow.
Yeah,
this feels
everyone's
good.
door is open. That's great. That was a crazy one.
Yeah, that feels really good as well. And anything else that surprised us?
Just how easy it is to get acclimated to the climate. People say, well, I mean, it is probably the coldest
Yeah.
that it's going to be all year. It's like 80 at the high, and the low, it ranges in the like low to mid 60s. It says that it drops even further down this week, but we'll see how that goes, and we'll probably touch up on that later. But inside during the day, it's, I mean, outside it's really breezy, so the sun isn't too like brutal, because of how much of a breeze that you get, and the way that everything's built up, it only runs in between even better. So yeah, you get a good amount of breeze. So that being said, you don't have to keep your AC on blast all the time, whereas in the States, you almost always, at least in Texas, you almost always have your AC at like 69 degrees.
Yeah, we don't
Day
even
and
have
night.
our AC on right now.
Yeah, no.
Windows are wide open.
All the windows in the
Doors,
house are
yeah.
open. We keep the fans on, and it is perfect.
Yeah, and I will say this, just kind of minor, but you can flush your toilet paper in Mexico in many places, but in Merida, in most of Merida, you cannot flush your toilet paper. So that was something I had heard about, but didn't know if it was actually going to affect us, and then we're living it now, and so it's not like a big deal, but it is different, and just something you're not really used to. You throw it in the trash can, you know, but that's the only like, and then you know, this is gonna be like a total gringo complaint, but it's sometimes most of the napkins at most places you go are very small and thin, and so you're using like a bunch of napkins, and you just kind of do your best to like. I don't like to waste a lot of paper, so you're trying to do your best to like conserve the little bit that you got. But
That's like the tiniest trade-off.
but yeah,
though.
it's so small, and it's not even anything I would actually complain about. I'm only just saying this for the people that are watching. There might be some crazy person out there that's like, dude, if I don't have thick napkins at the dinner table, I'm not moving it. You know, I don't know. You know, so I figured I'd just throw that out. Another thing we talk about is the emotional shift. You know, did you feel it right away, or did it take time? What emotions surprised us, and you know, what moment did it really click? Like, wow, we're here. You know.
Well, I got it really as soon as we hit Mexico and kind of hit the ground. It was just the relief of being out of the States that I didn't even I didn't see coming. You know, you're just kind of on go at all times in the States, and you're like, okay, I gotta get to here, I gotta get there, I gotta be, you know, watching and keeping track of time. And when they say they run on Mexican time is a very real thing out here. It's like, yeah, at 7 o'clock, but it could mean like 7:30 to like 8:30. You know, so you never really know what you're gonna get with that in mind. But regardless, everything's very much lax here.
Yeah,
And
very
the energy is that energy is very tangible. As soon as you
Right.
get here, it's so laid back, and
That's
yeah,
very
the
nice.
amount of relief from that transition definitely was like a huge weight just lifted off my shoulders. Like, I felt like I can really take it all in, and you know, just kind of look around and be like, wow, I'm really here.
I agree.
Yeah.
But also, my feelings were a little bit more hard to identify. There's so many that it's really like hard to pinpoint exactly what you're feeling. But I would just tell people, because I've talked to a lot of people that are checking on me, and it's like it's definitely no bad feelings, but there's so many overwhelming good feelings that it's hard to process. You know, you're feeling excited, anxious, scared. Not from safety, but just from a whole new world. Intimidated would be better to put. And you know, the best description is like I'm reborn as like almost like a 2-year-old in the world, where like everything you do from just counting change is brand new, which is like something. It's very little, but it's very big. You know, you realize, you know, I don't even know how to count money legitimately, comfortably. I don't know how to say the smallest things. We do speak some Spanish, but we're not like the best. So we underestimated how hard that would be. And so there's, you know, no doubt about it. You're like, honestly, if I could never speak the language, if I could never count money, like all that, I would still live here. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, it's still amazing.
Personally, I'm decent. I'm good with my numbers. It's really just the speed. But other than that, I'm a little bit better at understanding, and I guess you're a little bit better with speaking. So that part just
I
kind
use
of
phrases,
helps.
and
Yeah.
she's very understanding. I use phrases, and my phrases are like on a track. Like, if
Yeah.
I come off of that track, then I don't know what I'm talking about. But if the person that I'm talking to decides to play along with me, I can talk really good for the most part. But I'd say like 7 out of 10 times they don't play along with me. They, you know, they're
They're
doing,
gonna veer off and
they're
want
doing
to
their
know
own thing,
more.
which is not their fault.
Which honestly it shows how much better the conversation is and will
True.
be in the future for us, because you see the curiosity on the other side, you know, from them, from the natives here. They are very curious, like, oh, you know, how was it in the States, what is it, you know, they want to know more about you. And you just don't see that from day-to-day life in the States. So that transition too was like, oh wow, it's very warm and welcoming here.
Yeah, so I mean, most of what we talked about so far is just like pros. Like, pretty much everything's, I mean, it's really hard to find cons, but Have we had any type of cons that you could think of, or something that might be a little unsettling? I did mention like the toilet paper thing, which isn't a con necessarily. It's just if I were to tell someone from the United States that was coming here, I would mention, hey man, you can't flush your toilet paper. Just a heads up, because some people are picky.
I guess a couple of things on my mind as far as like cons or potential cons for a lot of people from the States with certain expectations would be, well, one, just finding a spot for whatever it is that you're looking for. I know some people may not be able to stomach certain foods, especially the local foods, which, hey, that's your own personal health issues. It's a eat at your own risk type of deal.
Yeah.
I've been able to stomach it down for the most part. A lot of the foods do run straight through you, but it's not painful.
Yeah.
So personally it hasn't been a con, but I know from other people who are not from here, they'll say like, oh wow,
traveler's diarrhea.
Yeah, they'll call it traveler's diarrhea.
I had some warnings about that, but I haven't had that problem one time in the last 3 days, and we've ate at least like 8 places separately.
And they've been very
dishes.
Local, straight out of somebody's garage.
And we are not eating at like fancy. There's no nice restaurants that we're eating at. Everything is literally like garages of people's houses, or like sometimes you're walking into someone's house, and or just a street taco situation. Like we're like that in Texas too. Like we don't like to go to a restaurant. We want to go to like the worst hole in the wall looking spot. It's guaranteed that's going to be where the best food is. So I don't know if we just built our stomach up from there, but we're believers of like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. We're not gonna try to avoid it or run around and not try stuff because of the fact that we might possibly have diarrhea or maybe even food poisoning. It's just not something I'm personally gonna worry about. So, and I don't think she would either. Another subject we can go towards, like I said, I guess we hit cons right there. I don't really, like I said, there's really not.
I guess the only personal con that did hit though was the gringo prices are a real thing in certain areas. And even in local areas, but they don't hit us as hard as those kind of tourist traps. The tourist traps, they'll run it up. And one dish down here is gonna run 75 pesos, which is like less than $5. It's probably about $4. Whereas in the tourist traps, those tourist areas, the richer areas, the privadas, they're gonna run you about probably like, I want to say
200 to 400.
Yeah, 350 to 400 pesos, which is like $30.
Yeah. And we got a taste of that too, which we didn't go to a fancy restaurant, but we were in an area that was like predominantly, I would say uppity. It was clean, extra clean and pretty, and it looked like a place that Americans would hang out. We had some friends take us there, and it was good food or what. It was okay food. I would say everything we've had in the worst looking places, once again, was always better, but it was more expensive.
Even in those tourist traps though, it wasn't bad food. It was not like, oh, I don't like this, I'm not going to finish this, like I'm just totally off put. It's like, no, I'm still going to eat this because it was handmade. Everything is so, everything is fresher. You don't get that sleepy feeling after eating something that looks fairly greasy.
Yeah, that is a noticeable thing.
Yeah.
You don't feel like crushed after you just, if you stuff your face, you don't feel like you do in America where you're like, oh my God, I gotta
need a
go
nap.
sleep. We've been just like eating and then moving and then eating and moving, and
it doesn't slow you down when you eat.
It's not at all slowing us down. Now, as far as what we're excited about next, if you want to just like kind of get close to the end, we're gonna try to wrap it up here and just let you guys know what we're excited for further on. If you want to maybe say some things you're excited about.
I'm really excited about one, just gaining fluency with the language so I can converse with people more
I think everybody can agree on that one always.
Yeah, I want to talk to people because everyone's so lively, and you want to be a part of the community, and everyone, you know, helps each other out, and they make that very apparent. And so I want to, you know, just contribute, and,
Of course.
as well as seeing our son, who's 2.5 years old, you know, also getting more involved with other kids, because the first thing that he did when he saw other kids was go and play with them, because they're all playing together. So obviously he wants to do that, and
We didn't
I'm
get
excited.
that a whole lot in Austin. We were in Austin, Texas, and it wasn't that we where we were living was in South Austin, but it wasn't necessarily full of kids. And in America, kids just don't play in the street anymore. So like, it's not like we would see kids very often in the street. So we had a neighbor that he played with, but that was about it. And so this place has given him the opportunity to literally just bump into kids
Everywhere.
left, right, like in the street out here. Everywhere we go, there's kids his age, and they're just like, you know, which is also a good example of, you know, I think most people know this, but kids don't judge, and kids don't care what color you are, what you speak, none of that, which is proof to me that racism and stereotypes are always, you know, something that you inherit through conversation or education, or from your family. It's not something that is actually built into our DNA. We're all human, and kids are a good proof of that, because they never care. They just hang out, they love each other, they're good to each other, and that's the way we all should emulate that lifestyle. But as far as what I'm excited, you know, food, I will say, like, I mean, it just keeps getting better and better.
And it's everywhere. The accessibility is crazy.
You know, I'm already at that point where, like, you know, I have gotten a good food fix where, like, you know, I just know at this point everything's gonna be good. So, you know, it's fine. But we definitely want to get on routine soon. That's like, we're only 3 days in, but we're the more stationary we feel, the better we will be able to feel. Especially we can spend more money. Right now we're in Airbnb. If you don't know, Airbnbs are going to be more expensive than renting from the locals. So we want to be able to rent from a local as soon as possible. But, you know, you still have to look around the town, which is massive.
It is it's a massive city. There is a population
so
of
many
over 1 million
options.
people. So yeah, there's
Like,
all these different areas, and
I've never, like, first off, Austin was the biggest city I was ever in. And to me, this feels bigger than Austin, even though they are similar population. They both have 1 million people. But this is just, like, Austin, things are separated. There's yards, there's big separation in some places. Here everything feels close and also massive at the same time. So it's just overwhelming. We found out yesterday going into the actual Plaza Grande how we're living in Centro, but that was like the real Centro. We learned quick that there's a huge difference from being in South Centro to being in actual Plaza Grande Centro, and it was night and day. Like, you felt like you weren't even in the same place. So, and we've been to Concal. Some friends took us out there, which was also super cool. It was kind of like,
Concal was like a separated, almost like kind of suburb, but not like a suburban feeling.
yeah, not like for people that are out there thinking the same thing I was thinking, is like, you know, I was thinking it was going to be a lot of bravadas and, you know, or, you know,
Just speak really bad.
I'm not taking that out. Like, there's a lot of, we thought it was going to be like gated communities, basically. We're not those type of people. We don't want to be separated by anybody. Even if we were Mexican and we were from here, we wouldn't want to be in a gated community. We're not those type of people. We like to be in the most authentic neighborhoods. So we were a little worried about that area, but then when we got out there are gated communities, but there's also still the same type of energy as you get in Centro. There's still a lot of people and a lot of little houses and a lot of shack-looking places and a lot of businesses out of the homes, and almost kind of like a tropical feel too. Like, there were a lot of dirt. The roads weren't really good, and I actually liked that. Like, it gave me like a beach vibe, you know?
It was a little bit rough on our 2.5-year-old baby, because he wasn't used to walking for so long.
Yeah, that
especially
is a
in that
subject.
on that rough pavement.
That's a subject too. That is one,
Yeah.
like, something we should have, I guess we should warn or whatever. I think most people with a 2-year-old have a stroller, but that'll tell you how much we walked around Austin. We didn't have a stroller, and we walked around our neighborhood, and that was it. So we never needed a stroller. And here, we weren't supposed to budget. We weren't supposed to break into our budget for a stroller, but we decided second day that it was like, no, we're gonna do what we gotta do to get that stroller. We got it because it was
a necessity.
He would just plop himself on the ground and not even move.
He was like, nope, you're carrying me.
And in Merida's heat and just the up and down of the sidewalks, and we planned to walk around everywhere and be really part of the city. We knew that there's no way we're going to be able to do this long term because it's too heavy to carry him. It's too sweaty. So we did get a stroller, and we do recommend that you do. I was worried that maybe the sidewalks would be too small or too funky, and they are funky and they are small, but you can still maneuver. You can go to the side. You can go to the street too. People are pretty cool about moving. So I would just give that warning. But overall, we are extremely blessed to be here. We're only 3 days in. This is just the beginning.
We're just hitting the tip of the iceberg. Barely.
Yeah, I mean, and so bear with us. We've never done a YouTube either, so we're not like good at this. This is not like our thing. So but the difference between us and other people is we do want to progress. We do want to get better, not only here but on YouTube. We are studying information. We are getting better and better at how we come off, how we discuss things. We don't want to just ramble and bore you. So bear with us, and hopefully you can watch us grow, watch our journey unfold, and hit that subscribe button and come along with us on our journey. And we'll try to give you the best, realist explanation that we possibly can of everything we experience.
That's going in not blindly, but semi-blindly.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I always, on a leaving note, I want to let you guys know that I've seen a lot of families up here try to sugarcoat things and smile and look all pretty and act
not
as
all
if,
of them. The ones that we've met have been really cool and very much
the ones we met, I was already
artists.
fans of. I liked their style, shout out to the Yucatan Adventures. I haven't met the Merry Misadventures, but shout out to them. I like their style too. I like people that genuinely talk. They don't do a lot of edits, and then you're getting a real answer with the cuss words and all. I don't need somebody to be like, today in Merida we had a great day. I don't need all the professional bravado. This is YouTube. We just want somebody that might look at us and say, oh, that's like us. We feel the same as, we look the same as them, we talk the same as them. They're real people. They're not rich. We're just regular people. So we want people to understand that and hopefully vibe with that. So all together, we just appreciate you tuning in, and we look forward to the future of what we're going to bring to the YouTube and our future life in Mexico. It's very exciting. It's hard not to smile when you talk about it. So appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great day. We love y'all.
Bye.
One thing I realized halfway through